I am glad you're not having trouble with the name Raj.
My question is emotional. My husband had a stroke about a year ago. And I'm finding it very difficult living with him. I find, well, in November when I heard your tape, it changed everything around, and I had this whole new way to be with him, and it felt wonderful. It felt wonderful that that's where I was supposed to be, and everything was okay. But now I'm at the feeling of sacrifice. Nothing's in our marriage together.
I want you to not fail to leave today without taking one of those sets of tapes from the last gathering.
Thank you.
Continue, though.
So I'm at a place of confusion. I've put it out to him, and I feel really guilty about it.
Put it out to whom?
To my husband. We have a really open relationship, and we share our feelings and our emotions.
What is the most difficult aspect?
When I come home from work, there's no joy. There's no sharing. There's no giving coming from him. Like, I'm his caretaker, and we don't have a companionship or a relationship outside of me providing food, home, shelter, and support. He's very non-communicative. And
by choice?
Yes, by choice. He was never a very talkative person to begin with, but since his stroke, he's less so. And so I'm really confused because I feel like part of me selling out instead of I've asked him to leave. I've asked him to, I'd help him find a place to live other than in my home or in our home. And, but I'm confused about that. I feel guilty. It doesn't feel like me because that's not the type of person I am. I'm a total caregiver. I work with special need kids. I've been caregiving all my life, but like this sort of is God in my house too, in my home too.
The thing is that when you're caretaking for these other individuals, you're never really called upon to sacrifice your integrity. But you are being called upon to sacrifice your integrity here. And that's why you're getting up on your hind legs, so to speak, and behaving in a way that's not characteristic of you. But it is characteristic of you. It's just that it's never been called into play before.
What does that mean?
That means that no one has ever tried to take your self-respect away, and so you've never had to stand up for it. Now, someone is behaving in a way that requires you to sacrifice your self-respect, and you're unwilling to do it, but because you've not had much practice at saying no in this regard, it feels like a different you standing up. It feels uncharacteristic of you. And the ego is able to take this situation, I'm saying your own ego, is being able to take this situation and say, you don't really know whether this is one of those times that it's important to let go of your self-respect. Or that it's a situation that if you go ahead and yield into it, you won't really be sacrificing your self-respect. You don't know for sure, so you don't have the clarity needed to stand firm. You might be making a mistake. if you refuse to sacrifice your self-respect. This might be one of those so-called instances where you really are meant to give and 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 not get. Do you see what I'm saying? So that leaves you in a state of doubt. What I'm telling you is that your fundamental response that says, this is not workable, it's inappropriate, I'm telling you that that is your self-respect emerging. It is your integrity being given voice. And this is not a situation where you're to kowtow to and respect someone else more than yourself. Now, I really mean what I'm saying. I really mean it for you, because you need to feel the fact that it's absolutely inappropriate for you to override your integrity here. Loved isn't a matter of being a doormat. You're being called upon here to be the love that says, no, I won't participate with you in a mutual behavior that requires either one of us to sacrifice our dignity and integrity. That's love. And then you've got to let the chips fall where they may. If that means that he decides he has to leave, and that you are unreasonable. That's what it means. It doesn't mean you're unreasonable. It means that that's the conclusion he has come to, right or wrong. But don't you back down and say, okay, this one time I'll sell my soul. I will stop being clear, the clear presence of intelligence, and I'll suck up to you. I'll devote myself to you in spite of what I know is right for me. You see? Good. That is love. Even though sweetly sucking up to him might feel much more loving. And I'm choosing my words on purpose. Now, I'm not judging him. And I'm not saying he's bad, but you know what? He needs an intelligent partner who has integrity. And I'm saying, be that partner. And if he doesn't like it, he can leave. You see?
Yes, I see. How do I get him to leave?
Don't worry about that yet. Just go home unconfused today. And be there unconfused.
Thank you.
You are welcome. We will take a break, and I'm going to suggest that you not talk to anyone during this break. if you want to get something to eat and take it outside, or go up and sit in the office and eat, I just want what I've said to rest with you during this break. Don't let it be energetically frittered away by small talk or even wonderful ideas that others might share with you as a result of what I've said, okay? And I'll ask everyone else to honor her by letting her have the space and time to be quiet. Okay, we will take a break. Okay. Hands. In the back here, yes. If you'll hold your hand up so he knows where to bring the mic.
Thank you, Raj. I want to thank you for opening your house to us. And I'm pleased to meet you and Paul for the first time in person. I have a specific reason for coming today, and that is with regards to my health. And I would like to get some advice from you. I suffered burnout, I suppose, about 3 years ago. And I've been experiencing a great amount of fatigue. And it seems to be localized in my heart chakra. That's where I feel a lot of pressure and fatigue. And I get heart palpitations. And I know that there's some mental blocks happening, which I would like some advice on. I've been listening to your tapes for about a year. Prior to burnout, I took a course for about 1.5 years in hypnotherapy. So I learned, meditation and things like that. And I'm wondering, I just wanted some guidance because I feel that I still can't seem to get my stamina up. I've lost my vitality. And I'm wondering also about alternate forms of healing like homeopathy and acupuncture, and if any of those types of healing methods could aid me in getting my strength back.
There's only one prescription that will resolve this problem, and that is love. If there is a block in the heart chakra, as you put it, it is because you are finding justifications for not loving. If you want to feel vitality, you're going to have to let vitality in. And I will tell you something I shared at the last gathering. And that is that the way to let vitality, or the way to let love in, is to have an object of your affection, to have something to which you are willing to extend love. It doesn't matter whether it's a friend, a human being, let us say, or a piece of furniture, or a tree, or a leaf, or an insect. But you've got to find something that you are willing to be involved with feelingly. If you've cleaned up the kitchen and it sparkles, appreciate it. Stop a moment to enjoy how beautiful it looks. You see? So it is not a complicated thing to have an object of your affection, to have something toward which you are able to feel warmly, lovingly, etc. And so the way you deal with the blocks to love is not to get rid of them, but to instead actually find the opportunities that exist to actually extend love, to actually care in a way that you can feel. A chakra doesn't actually have any moving parts that can become frozen and blocked. So you don't have a blocked chakra, damaged or misfunctioning chakra. But you have, let us say, an energy point which you are not inviting energy through. And so the answer is to make the invitation. And you make the invitation by having some place for the love that is going to come through to go to. You see? Now what you're going to find is that physically speaking, in that area of your body, you're going to find things feeling regenerated. You are going to feel vital, not weak or incapacitated. I know that it can sound trite to say the answer is love. But it's the truth. More than that the answer is love, it is important to know how to love. And you love by having an object of your affection, something toward which you can extend appreciation, caring, you see? This is the answer. Don't make it any more complicated than that. Do you have a yes, but?
Well, I still feel frustrated from what you're saying because I do feel like I love a lot of things, so I just find it frustrating. I know that I think I have fears that probably block this flowing of love. So I suppose I should focus less on the fears and more on the love.
Yes. And being frustrated takes time. It takes up your time. And whatever time you are giving to feeling frustrated is time that you are not engaged in being the presence of love, which is your function. Mm-hmm. What I'm trying to say is that being frustrated is unproductive. And you can just stop doing it. Mm-hmm. Most people don't realize they can just stop engaging their mind in that way. And the best way to stop is to do something else. And the something else to do is find something to appreciate. Mm-hmm. Well, I appreciate a lot of things, you said. Mm-hmm. Well, it isn't a contest where when you love a certain number of things, you'll get your healing or there will be a benefit. Because loving, because having an object of your affection is, well, I'm going to say productive, and engaging in frustration is unproductive, then why not do what is productive? What has meaning, you see? Mm-hmm. So maybe you're loving a lot of things. Well, then I encourage you to embrace even more things, because it is a pleasure to be engaged in appreciation. It feels good to be engaged in appreciation. Frustration begets more frustration, because it's not an extension, it's a closing down that feels bad and causes further closing down, which feels worse, which causes, and on and on and on, you see. Mm-hmm. Your chakras and your body are ready to serve you in terms of your best interests. You do not have to overcome some destructive tendency of your chakras or your body. So this is not a battle. It's a matter of making a choice between two different ways of using your mind. Mm-hmm. You see? One of the ways will open you up to experiencing your body as healthier. And one will contribute to its feeling worse and worse and worse. I do not encourage you to get caught up in remedies.
Okay.
Because the problem isn't in your body and it's not in your chakra.
Okay.
And then I want you to watch. There's a certain amount of satisfaction the ego gets out of being frustrated. There's a little self-righteousness in frustration. And so there may be times when you will say, oh, I really don't want to let go of being frustrated at the moment. It feels good to be pissed off. You see? Mm-hmm. Well, you still can make another choice. You don't have to be committed to that. So just remember, engaging or indulging in frustration is unproductive. It never has accomplished a thing. That's the end of the answer.
Thank you, Raj.
You are welcome. Hands. Over here on the floor in the brown.
Hi, Raj.
Good afternoon.
I want to thank you, too. I gave up being a grandmother. It feels real good.
You look terrific.
Thank you very much. I had a two-part question, but the first one has been pretty well taken care of today. However, this one is kind of bothering me a little. My young brother, has been diagnosed with lung cancer, and it was just a couple months ago. However, he has decided that he's going to die. And knowing what I know has been very difficult because he doesn't want to hear anything from anybody because he has made a definite decision regarding this. I guess I want to know if it's appropriate for me to...
You want to
do
know
it.
if there is any way you can inflict your good on him.
That came to the surface also.
No, there isn't.
There isn't. Okay. Okay. Just let him go.
When did you ever have hold of him?
Oh. Okay. I got it.
Does that mean you can't love him? Does that mean that you within yourself can't be consciously aware of the truth about him? And that he is suffering from a misperception or misunderstanding? And that's all? No, it doesn't mean that you can't do that. But be sure that you don't sit there being aware of what is true about him as a means of mentally coercing his mind into a realization of it. I know the total divine truth, the total infinite divine reality of you. But I can't make you embrace it. It is not my task to make you embrace it. And likewise, it's not your task to make anyone else embrace whatever clarity, wonderful clarity, you are experiencing. And so if you neglect to attempt to change their mind, there is no cause for guilt, because you're actually being intelligent not to try to do something you can't do. You see?
Yes, that's exactly what I was looking for.
That's the end of the answer.
Thank you.
Does anyone else have difficulty with what I've just said or have a question around that issue? Yes, right here.
Well, I think it's sort of around this issue. I just found out that a young friend of ours is using heroin, and my first inclination is to go and speak with him about it, having had a brother who for 6 years was a heroin addict. And I just wonder if you feel that that's an appropriate thing for me to do.
It is appropriate for you to open your mouth and extend your love actively in a verbal way until he indicates that he doesn't want to hear any more of it, which is the case here.